It sported a sleek, streamlined look called fuselage design, giving it a modern and aggressive stance on the road. It even came with front seat head restraints, meaning new safety standards that made cruising a bit safer. The Polara 500 made its return that year, sitting right between the base model and the luxurious Monaco. Buyers had the option of a convertible or hardtop coupe, and under the hood, there was no shortage of power. While the base model came with a 225 cubic inch slant 6, the real stars were the optional V8 engines, the 318, 383, and the beastly 440 cubic inch V8. The Polara RT was built for performance, and the sound of that 440 was nothing short of thunderous. When you fired it up, it roared to life, filling the air with a deep rumble that announced your presence. Now, let's talk numbers. The Polara made waves on the Chrysler test track, holding the record for the fastest top speed for a factory four-door sedan at an incredible 149 miles per hour until 1994. That's the kind of power you can feel in your chest. Number 4. The 69 Chrysler Newport Custom V8. Now, if the Polara was about power, the 69 Chrysler Newport Custom V8 was all about a smooth ride wrapped in luxury. The Newport had a long history, but in '69, it got a complete makeover with the same eye-catching fuselage styling that defined Chrysler's full-size cars. This redesign made it longer, lower, and wider than its predecessors, while keeping the spacious 124-inch wheelbase. Chrysler offered the Newport in various styles, including a hardtop coupe, sedan, and even a convertible. It was designed to be a comfortable ride without breaking the bank, appealing to families looking for style and space. Under the hood, the Newport packed a powerful V8, making it a contender for both leisurely drives and highway cruising. The sound of that Newport's V8 was like a gentle symphony, a far cry from the growls of the Polara. It had a deep, rich tone that promised comfort on long drives, providing that classic muscle car feel without the raw aggression. When you hit the road, you could enjoy that smooth, powerful sound while still feeling the luxury inside. Number 3. The 69 Pontiac Tempest V8. This beauty was a part of Pontiac's lineup from 1960 to 1970, bringing a unique flavor to the streets. The Tempest stood out not just for its look, but for its innovative design. Built on GM's Y platform, it featured a front-engine, rear transaxle layout, which gave it a near-perfect weight balance. Imagine cruising around in a car that handles like a dream. Thanks to its independent rear suspension, it felt light and agile on the road. Under the hood, the Tempest had some options that made it fun to drive. The Trophy 4 engine was a clever twist on the Pontiac standard V8, created by splitting a V8 block in half. Talk about innovation. And for those who craved more power, the 69 model brought in a new 3-speed turbo hydromatic transmission in the 350 HO V8, now pushing out 325 horsepower. But the real thrill came from the sound. When you started that V8, it unleashed a deep, throaty roar that echoed down the streets, letting everyone know you meant business. The 69 Pontiac Tempest also had a special treat for muscle car fans with the introduction of the Judge. This version was all about raw power and performance, boasting special decals and an aggressive rear spoiler. While it was meant to compete with the Plymouth's Roadrunner, it found its place as a GTO variant, adding to the Tempest's muscle car legacy. Number 2. The 69 Chevy Bel Air V8. Now, let's shift gears to the 69 Chevy Bel Air, a classic that has been part of the Chevy family since the 50s. For 1969, the Bel Air received a fresh redesign, sporting a longer body and sleeker lines, while maintaining the familiar 119-inch wheelbase. It was a car that commanded attention, and it had the power to match. Engine options for the Bel Air included a standard 250 cubic inch 6-cylinder and a range of V8s that made your heart race. You could choose from 327s, 350s, and even some mighty 427s, cranking out up to 425 horsepower. With that kind of power, you can bet it had a sound that turned heads. The rumble from the V8 engines was a sweet symphony of American muscle, blending power and style in a way that only Chevy could deliver. By '69, this was the last year for the Bel Air two-door sedan, but it left a lasting impression. As the model evolved, it continued to capture the hearts of car enthusiasts with its powerful engines and iconic design. Number 1. The '69 Yenko Chevrolet Camaro SYC. Now, this was a car made for speed and attitude, thanks to Don Yenko, a race car driver turned Chevy dealer who specialized in making Chevy cars faster than they had any right to be. The Yenko Camaro came with a massive 427 cubic inch V8, packing 425 horsepower and a mind-bending 460 pound-per-foot of torque. To put it simply, this car could fly. The engine in the Yenko Camaro had a deep, thunderous rumble that you felt in your bones. On the drag strip, this car hit 108.2 miles per hour and could do the quarter mile in 12.59 seconds. A stunning time for a street car. The rumble of that big block V8 was something special, and with every downshift, the sound intensified, letting everyone around know this Camaro meant business. Only about 201 of these beasts were ever made, so if you ever hear one, consider yourself lucky. It's a rare kind of thunder. Now, which car do you think truly stole the show? Was it the deep rumble of the Dodge Charger, or maybe the fierce growl of the Ford Mustang? Comment down below your favorite pick and let us know which sound you think defines the spirit of 1969 muscle cars. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time. Imagine hitting the gas and feeling pure power surge through you as the sound of a roaring V8 fills the air. But not all muscle cars are made equal, especially in 1969, when some engines sounded like thunder rolling through the streets. But what engine has a sound so smooth it was almost polite until you hit the gas? And which ones roared like a wild beast, leaving no doubt it owned the road? Well, stick around to find out which of these beasts ruled the streets with a sound that still echoes in the memories of muscle car fans. Number 40. The 1969 Ford Falcon GT. The 1969 Ford Falcon GT, specifically the XW GT, was a real game changer down under. This wasn't just about looks. It had a 351 cubic inch V8 that roared like a beast when you hit the gas. The 351 Windsor engine originally powered this monster, but soon Ford swapped it with the most famous 351 Cleveland, adding even more punch to the engine's deep, throaty sound. But the sound wasn't the only thing that set it apart. The Falcon GT came with serious style, sporting aggressive details like a huge bonnet scoop, racing mirrors, and those iconic locking pins on the hood. With dual exhaust that belted out a mean note from each corner, it was clear that this car meant business. Ford even created two special versions, the GT-HO Phase 1 and Phase 2, specifically built for racing fans. They fine-tuned the engine, brakes, and handling so the Falcon could thunder through the Touring Car Championship, with fans cheering on legends like Moffitt. The Subaru decals on the sides weren't just for show either. They were a nod to the Falcon's 4-barrel 351 V8, which was all about performance. Imagine standing next to this beast, hearing the sound of all that power rumbling through its pipes. It's an experience that would give any car enthusiast chills. Number 39. The 1969 Plymouth Sport Fury. While the Ford Falcon was built for performance, the '69 Plymouth Sport Fury took on a different kind of muscle car vibe. Plymouth gave the Fury a complete makeover, adding a massive body with what they called fuselage styling. This wasn't your sleek, nimble car. It was a big cruiser designed with a raised beltline that made it feel a bit like driving a tank. And when you heard that big block 440 V8 growl, it really felt like one too. Though it was more about comfort than quarter-mile speed, the Fury had some solid engineering under the hood. Its torsion bar front suspension made it smooth on the highway, and the big V8 options, especially the burly 440, gave it some surprising grunt when you needed it. For those who wanted to take their sports fury on the open road, Plymouth introduced a quirky turnpike cruising package. This setup included a 2-barrel 383 engine, cruise control, and a 276:1 axle ratio, basically tuning it for long stretches of easy, steady driving. Sure, it might not have the track record of the Falcon, but Fury's smooth engine note and sheer size made it a unique presence on the road. And with details like hidden wipers and the new 15-inch wheels, it was a bit of a stylish giant, perfect for those who love the power and poise of a full-size cruiser. Number 38, the 1969 Pontiac Le Mans. Then there was the Pontiac Le Mans, a gem crafted during John DeLorean's iconic run at Pontiac. It wasn't the top dog in the lineup. That honor went to the GTO, but the Le Mans had its own personality. Priced around $3,000 in '69, it was affordable yet packed with character. Under the hood, Pontiac offered something unexpected: the overhead Cam6 engine, one of DeLorean's engineering feats. This wasn't your typical V8 roar. Instead, the Le Mans purred with a unique sound thanks to its timing belt-driven straight six. The base Le Mans engine delivered 175 horsepower, while the high-performance Sprint version cranked it up with 230. The Sprint might not have matched the GTO's Thunder, but it offered a lighter, sportier feel that made handling a breeze. Though not a roaring beast like the V8s of the era, the 08 C6 had a satisfying, smooth tone, a balanced hum that was rare in muscle cars. Pontiac marketed it as modern and efficient, setting it apart from the rumbling giants on the road. Number 37, the 1969 Ford Galaxy. The Ford Galaxy's roots trace back to the late 50s, named in honor of the space race. By 1969, it had evolved into a full-size powerhouse ready to battle Chevy's Impala and Dodge's Polara. But the real thrill came from the engine choices Ford offered that year, especially the 429 cubic inch Thunderjet. This big block V8 replaced the 427 and 428 engines, revving up to 360 horsepower with its dual exhaust version. Imagine hearing that Thunderjet growl. Every time you pressed down on the gas, you unleashed a deep, powerful rumble that only a big block V8 could deliver. It wasn't just loud, it was the kind of sound that turned heads from blocks away. And the Galaxy wasn't just about brute force. Ford gave it some style upgrades too. The interior had a driver-focused dashboard, and the sports roof models had a sleek, fastback look. In short, the Galaxy combined elegance and raw power, making it a legend among full-size muscle cars. Number 36, the 1969 Mercury Cougar Eliminator 428 CJ. The Mercury Cougar Eliminator wasn't your typical muscle car. This was Mercury's answer to the Mustang and Thunderbird, blending luxury with raw power. Within the mighty 428 Cobra Jet V8, under the hood, this Cougar wasn't just purring, it was roaring a 390-plus horsepower. Even though it was officially rated at 335 HP, Mercury only rolled out 302 of these 7-liter big block monsters in the Eliminator trim, making it a rare and sought-after gem. If you're lucky enough to find one in mint condition, you could be looking at a price tag of around $70,000, which shows just how legendary it has become over time. A true muscle car icon, the Eliminator proves that sometimes a little luxury and a lot of horsepower can coexist pretty perfectly. Number 35, the 1969 Mercury Cyclone 428 CJ. The Cyclone Cobra Jet might be the undercover hero of '69's muscle scene. It didn't get the fame of Ford's Torino or Dodge's Super Bee, but to some, that's what makes it special. Equipped with Ford's hot 428 Ci V8, the Cyclone CJ was secretly kicking out closer to 400 HP, even though it was advertised as 335 HP. This beast could clock 14-second quarter miles, a real feat back then. Only about 2,175 Cyclone CJs rolled off the assembly line, making it rare and thrilling to spot today. The Cyclone CJ was a powerhouse wrapped in a cloak of mystery, capturing the rebellious spirit of the muscle car era for those who preferred a car that spoke softly but carried a big stick under the hood. Number 34, the 1969 Chevrolet Nova SS 396. Chevy's Nova SS 396 was the car for anyone wanting power without the show-off factor. It looked like an ordinary compact, but pop the hood and there was a ferocious 396 SID V8 engine waiting to roar. With the SS package, the sleeper could jump from 0 to 60 in no time, often surprising the high-end muscle cars it faced. For those who wanted even more muscle, Chevy offered the L78 engine upgrade, taking the Nova to an astonishing 370 HP. Car and Driver aptly described it as the junior Chevy with the senior engine. It was fast, powerful, and balanced. 55% of its weight was on the front axle, a rare setup among muscle cars that let the Nova unleash its fury on the streets with ease. Number 33, the 69 Dodge Charger 500 Hemi. This car was Chrysler's attempt to conquer NASCAR, and it's packed with raw, ground-shaking power. The Charger 500 was built with aerodynamics in mind, swapping out the split grille and reworking the rear to streamline its shape. But let's talk about that engine. When the 426 Hemi was fired up, it didn't just growl, it roared. The sound was intense, thanks to its big V8 cylinders pushing out an almost mythic rumble. Testers loved its agility on the street, especially with its manual transmission that could hit the quarter mile in just over 13 seconds, topping out around 104 miles per hour. This automatic version lagged just a touch, but still gave a thrilling performance. This wasn't just a race car in disguise. It handled city traffic and highway cruising with equal ease. Yet, despite all this, the Charger's 500 racing record didn't match the car's promise. So, Chrysler didn't stop there. They went on to design the famous Dodge Daytona with a wild wing and nose cone, taking things even further in the aero wars. Still, the Charger 500 remains one of the loudest, proudest muscle cars to ever hit the street. Number 32, the 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429. When people saw this beast, they thought it would be Ford's answer to the Corvette, a street racer. But the Boss 429 had a different mission: NASCAR. Ford needed 500 units to qualify the engine for racing, but they chose to drop it into the newly styled 69 Mustang. The 429 cubic inch V8 was a powerhouse designed for high revving tracks, complete with a Holley 4-barrel carb and aluminum high riser. But here's where things got interesting. The engine was all about top-end speed, not the drag strip grunt muscle car fans expected. It needed those revs to really show off, which meant it wasn't as quick as off the line as some other big block monsters. There were even early issues with the valve springs, which limited the RPM and prevented the engine from showing its full potential. Ford put effort into making the Boss handle well, giving it a wider track and better suspension. But despite this handling boost, fans were a bit disappointed with its quarter-mile times. The Boss 429 sounded incredible though, a high-revving roar that was completely different from the low growl of the Charger. Ford stopped the Boss 429 after 1970, leaving enthusiasts with a car that sounded amazing and handled beautifully, but never quite became the street warrior fans expected. Number 31, the 1969 Plymouth GTX 440. The 1969 Plymouth GTX 440 was a classic powerhouse, known as Plymouth's first all-in-one performance model. The GTX shared a body with the rougher Roadrunner, but came dressed in finer details like chrome trims, double stripes, and a high-end interior. Standard was the Super Commando 440 engine. a 375 horsepower big block V8 that made it more than capable on the track. While the optimal 426 Hemi engine could take the GTX to even higher levels of performance, it was pricier, so only a select few went for it. The GTX's sophisticated look set it apart, showing that a muscle car could have both style and power. Number 30, the 1969 Dodge Super Bee 440 6-pack. Then, we've got the Dodge Super Bee 440 6-pack, which was Dodge's answer to Plymouth's Roadrunner. Built on the Chrysler Bee's platform, the Super Bee became an instant hit for its raw power and affordability. If you chose the A12 package, your Super Bee came with a 440 cubic inch engine, 3 carburetors, aka the 6-pack, and a look that screamed power, a flat black hood with 6-pack lettering, and a liftoff hood design. It was a bit longer and heavier than its Roadrunner cousin, but that didn't stop it from dominating on the streets. With an impressive 390 horsepower. For a true performance experience, most drivers went for the 4-speed manual transmission, paired with a Hurst shifter that made gear changes smooth and precise. In terms of collectible value, the 6-pack Super Bees remain slightly more affordable than the rare Hemi models, making them a popular choice for muscle car enthusiasts today. Number 29, the 1969 Pontiac GTO Judge. With its bright orange paint, cool rally wheels, and iconic decals, the Judge turned heads before it even started. But the real magic was under the hood. The Ram Air 3 V8 engine. Fire it up, and you've got a throaty, aggressive sound that dared anyone to try to keep up. Pontiac didn't hold back on style either, adding a rear spoiler, a hood scoop, and a Hurst shifter, making it a dream for young drivers looking for a statement ride. The Judge went from 0 to 60 in a flash, hitting the quarter mile in 13.2 seconds at 104 miles per hour. Number 28, the 69 Plymouth Roadrunner 440 6-pack A12. The Plymouth Roadrunner was already a beast, but the 440 6-pack, known officially as the A12 package, took things to another level. Imagine pulling up to a stoplight and hearing that deep, thunderous idol of a 440 cubic inch V8 just waiting to be unleashed. This wasn't just a sound, it was a statement. 390 horsepower and 490 pound-per-foot of torque rumbling under a fiberglass hood. Held in place by 4 pins for that all-business look. When you floored it, 3 Holley carburetors kicked in, 1 2-barrel for everyday driving, and 2 extra 2-barrels for that full-throttle roar. Push the pedal and you'll feel a wave of power as the Roadrunner lunged forward. In a test run, drag racer Ronnie Sox hit 111.8 miles per hour in the quarter mile, clocking it at 12.91 seconds. A serious time for a factory car. Plymouth made fewer than 1,500 of these coupes and hardtops, and when you heard one scream down the track, you knew it was something special. The Roadrunner A12 was like a one-hit wonder in music. It arrived, made an unforgettable impression, and then Plymouth stopped production, leaving fans wanting more. Number 27, the 69 Chevy Camaro ZL1. The 69 Camaro ZL1 was a special breed. Chevy built this Camaro for one purpose: to dominate the drag strip. The ZL1 had a unique all-aluminum 427 cubic inch V8 engine, producing over 500 horsepower. Chevy rated it at 430, but insiders knew it was more. And at just 500 pounds, it was as light as Chevy's smaller V8s, making it incredibly powerful and fast. Imagine this: you're at a drag race and you hear the ZL1 rev up, a high-pitched roar that's sharper and more aggressive than the Roadrunner's low rumble. Equipped with a 410 Posey rear end, this car could launch hard and fast. Straight from the factory, it could run low 13s, but with some added headers, slick tires, and fine-tuning, it could blast through the quarter mile in the 11s, even hitting speeds of 122 miles per hour. But all that performance came at a steep price. Just the engine added $4,160 to the sticker, making the ZL1 cost a whopping $7,200, a huge amount in '69. Chevy instantly struggled to sell these cars, but the rarity and sheer power of the ZL1 quickly made it a legend. Today, it's a collector's dream. Number 26, the Dodge Coronet RT440. Launched in September 1968, this muscle car wasn't shy. It had a loud, aggressive style, backed by serious performance. It came with Dodge's Super B trim, a popular choice thanks to its high-powered 383 Magnum engine. But if you really wanted to shake things up, there was the RT Road Track model, offering a mighty 440 cubic inch V8. The Coronet 440 wasn't just fast. It had that classic deep, rumbling exhaust note that muscle car fans dreamed about. A low growl at idle, which turned into a thunderous roar when the pedal hit the floor. For added flair, the Coronet came in vibrant colors like bright red, green, and turquoise, with the iconic bumblebee stripes wrapping around its rear. It had a vinyl roof and an option for bench or bucket seats, allowing a touch of customization in a raw muscle machine. Inside, the rally suspension and heavy-duty shocks made sure the car handled well, but let's be honest, it was the sound that sold this beast. Number 25, the 69 Chevrolet Chevelle SS. Marketed as America's most popular midsize car, it came with sleek front-end styling, chrome headlights, and a new grille, making it both stylish and menacing. But the real heart of the Chevelle SS was its engine. A 396 cubic inch V8 that packed 325 to 375 horsepower. When you turned the key, this car let out a rumble that was more refined than the Coronet's raw roar, but it had its own signature sound that was unforgettable. For those who wanted to push the limits, Chevrolet offered the L72 420 engine, a massive 425 horsepower powerhouse that only a few lucky buyers got to experience. Every push of the accelerator sent a deep, throaty rumble from the exhaust, a sound that still resonates with the car enthusiasts. And if you were lucky enough to see a special COPO Central Office Production Order Chevelle, you'd know it was built to dominate. Only a handful were made, and they were sold through select dealerships like Yenko Chevrolet, famous for their street beasts. Even the Chevelle station wagons offered unique features, like a dual-action tailgate, proving that Chevy was all about blending functionality with style. Number 24, the 1969 Buick Grand Sport GS. Buick wasn't playing around in 1969, even though they weren't into flashy special editions like Chevy or Pontiac. While everyone else at General Motors was dropping special models, Buick kept it cool and sophisticated with the GS 400. This model came with standard hood scoops, but they weren't just for show, they had a cool air induction system. When you revved up that V8, the twin snorkel air cleaner kicked in, boosting power and torque, and that was only the beginning. Buick offered two performance packages for the GS 469, Stage 1 and the extremely rare Stage 2. Stage 1 turned things up with 345 horsepower, a high-lift cam, and exhaust big enough to let that V8 roar. If you were lucky enough to get your hands on a Stage 2, you were looking at 360 horsepower and an even bigger punch. One thing that set the Buick apart was its smoothness. This was a muscle car that didn't shake and rattle at idle like its competitors. When you put your foot down, the engine responds with a powerful, satisfying growl, but keeps things smooth like a performance car. That's also a bit of a gentleman. Number 23, the 1969 Chevy Corvette. This car was nothing short of an icon. With its sleek aerodynamic design, it's easy to spot on the road. When you opt for the coupe or convertible, this car is engineered to perform. At its heart is a robust 350 cubic inch V8 engine, delivering 300 horsepower. But if you're craving more power, you could step up to a heart-pounding 435 horsepower version. When you hit the gas, the engine comes alive with a deep, rumbling growl that's instantly recognizable. The sound is a symphony of raw power, resonating through the streets as you accelerate. And with disc brakes on all four corners, you can be confident that you'll stop just as impressively as you go. The Corvette isn't just about speed, it offers a driving experience that combines power with a touch of sophistication, making every ride an event. Inside, the Corvette is decked out with gauges for everything, including oil pressure and tachometer readings, giving you all the info you need at your fingertips. It's designed to be comfortable and user-friendly with a steering wheel that feels just right in your hands. The smooth operation of the windshield wipers and the improved ventilation systems means that even at high speeds, you can enjoy the ride without distractions. Number 22. The 1969 Dodge Dart 440. On the other end of the spectrum, we have the 1969 Dodge Dart 440, a car that's a bit more of a sleeper. At first glance, it may look like a simple compact car, but it's hiding some serious muscle under the hood. Dodge took a hefty 440 cubic inch V8 and dropped it into this mid-sized body, producing a whopping 375 horsepower and 440 pound-per-foot of torque. The Dart 440 has a sound all in its own, a thunderous rumble that you feel in your bones. When you fire up that engine, it's like a storm brewing. You know something powerful is about to happen. With a quarter-mile time of around 12.7 seconds, this car isn't just about looks, it's all about performance. It's the kind of car that makes other drivers think twice when they hear that powerful engine roar beside them. While it may not boast the same polished finish as the Corvette, the Dart's unassuming appearance only adds to its charm. It's a car that lures you in with its understated design, then surprises you with its fierce capabilities. Just remember though, that with all that power comes the need for respect, especially when it comes to stopping. Number 21. The 69 Shelby GT 500. When it comes to muscle cars, the 69 Ford Mustang Shelby GT 500 stands out, not just for its looks, but for its thunderous sound of its engine. This car took the iconic Mustang to a whole new level, featuring a sleek, aggressive fastback design that turned heads on the road. At the heart of this beast was the powerful 428 cubic inch Cobra Jet V8 engine, with a factory-rated 335 horsepower and a massive 440 pound-per-foot of torque. It had enough muscle to make any driver's heart race. Fire up that V8 and you're greeted with a rumble that's both fierce and exhilarating. The deep growl is unmistakable, setting the stage for what this car can do. You can feel the raw power as you hit the gas, launching you from 0 to 60 in just over 6 seconds. A remarkable feat for a car from the late 60s. Whether you opted for the classic 4-speed manual or the automatic transmission, the sound of that engine roaring to life was music to any car enthusiast's ears. Sadly, 1969 marked the end of an era for the original Shelby GT 500. Carroll Shelby's partnership with Ford came to a close, marking this model a rare gem that collectors cherish today. With its distinct style, aggressive sound, and impressive performance, the 1969 Shelby GT 500 remains a top pick for those who love the thrill of the drive. Number 20. The 1969 Plymouth Barracuda. Now, let's talk about the 1969 Plymouth Barracuda, a car that evolved from its humble beginnings into a true muscle contender. The first-gen model didn't quite pack a punch, but this changed dramatically with its second generation. By 1969, the Barracuda entered muscle car territory, featuring new V8 options, including the powerful 340 cubic inch small block engine. When you fire up the Barracuda, the sound is a blend of attitude and confidence. With a deep, throaty rumble that can turn heads, the Barracuda exudes power without even moving. While it may not have the same reputation as some of its competitors, the Barracuda has its share of unique features, like the rare mod top, a vinyl roof with a floral design that added a touch of flair. The sound of the engine, though, is what truly matters, and the Barracuda delivers a satisfying growl that can make any drive a thrilling experience. Number 19. The 69 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am Ram Air 303. In 1969, Pontiac felt the heat of competition, needing to up its game in the V8 engine wars. Enter the Ram Air V, designed for maximum airflow and raw power. This beast of an engine featured mirrored ports with cleverly spaced intake valves that allowed for an impressive intake of air, making the engine purr like a lion ready to unleash its roar. The Ram Air V came in several sizes, both the 303 cubic inch version with the rare gem of the bunch with only about 25 ever made. Imagine the thrill of hearing that engine come to life, its growl promising unmatched performance. This power plant was built for racing, boasting a design so aggressive that it could outflow even the legendary Hemi engine. Though at low RPMs, it lacked torque. Unfortunately, fate dealt a cruel hand. A combination of regulatory changes and production issues meant that this powerhouse never hit the streets in large numbers. However, those lucky enough to find one day can truly appreciate the rarity and the legendary sound that embodies the spirit of American muscle. Number 18. The 69 Dodge Dart 440 Hemi Magnum GTS. Now, let's shift gears to the 69 Dodge Dart 440 Hemi Magnum GTS. As the muscle car era faced a slowdown, Dodge pulled a rabbit out of its hat by cramming a 440 cubic inch Magnum into their compact Dart. Think of it like a small car packing a punch with 375 horsepower and 440 pound-per-foot of torque, unleashing an engine growl that could wake the neighbors. But this wasn't just about power, it was about a thrilling driving experience. With a quarter-mile time of just 13 seconds right off the showroom floor, the Dart became a favorite for those wanting speed and style without breaking the bank. You could go from 0 to 60 in just over 5 seconds, a feat that still impresses car enthusiasts today. The roar of the Hemi engine as you accelerate was nothing short of music to the ears of any muscle car fan. Dodge's decision to keep things simple meant no power steering or brakes, leading to a pure driving experience. With its powerful engine and striking looks, this car was all about performance, delivering serious bang for your buck at a price that today would translate to about $22,000. Just imagine cruising in a Dart, its engine roaring as you leave your mark on the pavement. Number 17. 69 Oldsmobile 442 W30. Now, this car maintained a classic look reminiscent of the previous year's model, but sported some exciting updates. The front grille design was sleeker, and the trunk now featured stylish inlets for the taillights. Under the hood, the 442 roared to life with a powerful 455 cubic inch V8 engine delivering a staggering 380 horsepower. Imagine the sound of that engine deep and rumbling like a lion's growl, announcing its presence on the road. The performance was thrilling, with 0 to 60 achieved in just 5.9 seconds and a quarter-mile run completed in a jaw-dropping 14.03 seconds. This 442 was a perfect mix of speed and style, with functional hood scoops that added to its aggressive stance. Each time the accelerator was pressed, the engine unleashed a symphony of power that sent shivers down the spine of any car enthusiast. Number 16. The 69 AMC Javelin SST. The 69 AMC Javelin SST was a fierce competitor in the pony car market. Designed by the talented Dick Teague, the Javelin offered a sporty vibe that was hard to resist. With its front-end engine, rear-wheel drive layout, it was built for those who craved excitement. The Javelin was versatile, available in various trims and engine options. But let's focus on the sound that truly defined this muscle car. When equipped with the 390 cubic inch V8, the Javelin's engine erupted with a thrilling roar that can make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. The exhaust note was a blend of power and aggression, captivating anyone within earshot. The Mod Javelin package introduced a host of eye-catching features, including a roof-mounted spoiler and vibrant paint options like neon blue and orange. The additions weren't just for show, they reflected the youthful spirit of the times, encouraging drivers to stand out and make a statement. The interior also got an upgrade with stylish instrumentation that complemented the car's performance-oriented nature. Number 15. The 1969 Chevy Impala SS 427. In '69, the Chevy Impala still offered the Super Sport SS option package, but it came exclusively with one of two powerful 427 cubic inch V8 engines, earning it the nickname SS 427. Despite its impressive pedigree, the Impala SS 427 struggled against the rising popularity of smaller, lighter performance cars like the SS Camaros and Chevelles. Consequently, 1969 marked the end of the Impala SS era, with only about 2,500 units produced. Following this year, the Impala was primarily seen as a family sedan, yet the SS 427 remained a formidable vehicle with a legacy of power. The exterior of the SS 427 featured the standard Impala trim, which included narrow chrome strips running from front to rear and around the wheel wells. Unique to the SS 427 were distinguishing features such as an SS emblem on the front fenders and deck lid, replacing the traditional Chevy bow tie in the grille. This grille stood out with its blackout treatment, complemented by redline tires that many SS 427s sported. Contrary to popular belief, hideaway headlights were not an option for the SS 427. They were exclusive to the Caprice model. While there could be exceptions to this rule, no documented cases existed of an Impala being factory fitted with hideaway headlights.
Chevy Impala.
Number 14. The '69 Ford Torino Cobra. Produced from '68 to '76, the Ford Torino was designed to compete in the intermediate market segment and was closely related to the Mercury Montego. Initially an upscale version of the Ford Fairlane, the Torino became the main designation for Ford's intermediate line by 1970, completely replacing the Fairlane name. The '69 Torino lineup expanded, introducing high-performance versions like the Torino Cobra, which featured powerful engines such as the 428 Coupe in Cobra Jet and the 429 Coupe in Super Cobra Jet. The '69 models retained much of the styling from 1968, but with some updates in the grille and taillights. The Cobra, specifically marketed without the Fairlane name, emphasized performance, coming equipped with the 428 4V Cobra Jet engine, competition suspension, and distinct styling cues like a blacked-out grille and hood lock pins. The engine options for the Torino were revised, with most models featuring a large 250 Coupe in I6 as standard. While the Cobra models were fitted with the powerful 428 CJ engine, this engine could be ordered with or without a Ram Air induction package. The Cobra also included features like a non-functional fiberglass hood scoop, which became functional if the Ram Air induction was specified. Despite a decline in overall Torino production, with just shy of 130,000 units made in 1969, the Torino Cobra positioned itself as a performance-oriented vehicle, directly competing with the likes of the Plymouth Roadrunner. The Torino GT maintained its appeal with upscale features, and performance focus captured the spirit of the muscle car era. Number 13. The '69 AMC AMX. This car is a surprising entry from the American Motors Corporation, often overshadowed by the big three automakers. This two-seater sports car emerged after AMC realized it needed a performance boost to keep up in the muscle car game. Inspired by a 1966 concept car, the AMX hit the road after AMC modified its successful Javelin into a sleeker version. Under the hood, it boasted a selection of engines, starting with a 290 cubic inch V8 and going up to a beastly 390 cubic inch variant that cranked out a thrilling 340 horsepower. Say you're behind the wheel, and as you press the gas, the sound of that powerful engine fills the air, an aggressive rumble that ignites your spirit. The AMX could leap from 0 to 60 in about 7 to 8 seconds, all while keeping you fully engaged in the driving experience with minimal distractions. The absence of power steering and other modern luxuries added to its raw charm, making you feel truly connected to the road. Despite its short production run, only about 19,000 units, this little muscle car made a lasting impact. Today, you can find one of these gems valued between $8,800 and $34,000, depending on its condition. For those lucky enough to snag the 390 engine with a manual transmission, be prepared to pay a premium. The AMX is a unique blend of styles, challenging the typical classifications of its time. It stands as a testament to the underdog spirit in the automotive world. Number 12. The 69 Pontiac Firebird HO. Next, let's rev up the engine of the 69 Pontiac Firebird HO, known as the light heavyweight. This car was all about blending performance with affordability. While Pontiac didn't initially offer a small block engine, they crafted the Firebird HO with a spirited 326 cubic inch V8, producing 285 horsepower. But wait, they didn't stop there. They upgraded to a 350 cubic inch engine that really made waves with its 325 horsepower. The true joy of the Firebird HO lies in its engine sound. With a throaty growl and a snappy response, it could sprint down the quarter mile in just over 14 seconds. Imagine the adrenaline rush as the exhaust note reverberates through your chest. The combination of a high-output V8, a refined chassis, and an aggressive camshaft made this car a performance bargain. As the Firebird entered its final year in this configuration, it featured mechanical upgrades that enhanced its performance, making it an underrated contender in the muscle car arena. With its standard features and various options, the Firebird HO was a well-rounded package. Number 11. The 69 Oldsmobile Cutlass S. Now, the Cutlass has a rich history with General Motors dating back to the 1960s. By '69, this beauty was really coming into its own, showing off a classic style and some impressive performance. While other brands were busy with flashing special editions, Oldsmobile kept things sophisticated with the Cutlass. The F85 Cutlass line got some subtle updates, like the stylish split grille and those eye-catching vertical taillights. Under the hood, the Cutlass offered a range of engines, and while it didn't change much from '68, it did get a new 3-speed turbo hydromatic 350 transmission option. The standard 350 cubic inch rocket V8 churned out 310 horsepower, but if you were lucky enough to grab the W31 option, you'd be looking at 325 horsepower. Picture this, you're behind the wheel, and as you rev up that V8, you get a strong, confident growl that makes you feel alive. It's not just powerful, it's smooth, handling like a dream while providing the satisfying rumble that turns heads. Number 10. The 69 Dodge Charger SE 383. Now let's shift gears to the 69 Dodge Charger SE, a car that screams muscle car history. With its stunning design and roomy interior, the Charger was a hit, selling over 85,000 units that year. If you wanted raw power, the legendary Hemi was the way to go. This engine, with its hemispherical combustion chambers, was the stuff of racing dreams. The Charger street versions had a 426 cubic inch Hemi V8, which pumped out a jaw-dropping 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. Imagine the thrill as you push down on the accelerator. The deep, throaty roar of that Hemi engine is music to the ears of any car enthusiast. It was known for its ability to rev smoothly and endlessly, making it feel like you were gliding rather than just driving. And while some muscle car engines could be temperamental, the Hemi was surprisingly well-mannered, handling city driving like a champ. Our featured Charger had all the bells and whistles, power steering, disc brakes, and even a stylish vintage top. This car wasn't just built for looks, it performed beautifully, running the quarter mile in an impressive 13.65 seconds. With that power and that engine growl, the Charger SE is truly a piece of muscle car history. Number 9. The Chevelle Malibu V8. The Chevy Chevelle, particularly the 1969 Malibu V8, was a fan favorite. Blending style with serious power, it sported a 396 cubic inch V8 engine that churned out a robust 325 horsepower. When you fired it up, the engine roared to life, producing a sound that could make any car enthusiast's heart race. The growl was unmistakably powerful, with a deep rumble that echoed like distant thunder, signaling that this was a serious machine. With sleek new styling, the Chevelle featured quad headlights and a more aggressive front grille that matched its fierce engine sound. The optional Supersport SS package included a version of that same V8 that could reach 350 or even 375 horsepower. Can you imagine the thrill of that sound? It wasn't just an engine, it was music, an intoxicating mix of power and adrenaline. Number 8. The '69 Pontiac GTO. On the other side of the muscle car showdown was the legendary Pontiac GTO. Known for kickstarting the muscle car craze in the 60s, the GTO roared with a distinctive character all its own. For '69, it offered an upgraded 400 Ram Air engine that cranked out a thrilling 366 horsepower. The sound of that V8, with its high-flow exhaust and aggressive camshaft, was nothing short of exhilarating. When you pressed the accelerator, it released a sharp, throaty growl that turned heads everywhere it went, adding to its allure with a new model called the Judge, which offered a more stripped-down race-inspired package that emphasized performance and raw sound over luxury. With a spoiler that claimed to add a touch of downforce at speed, it certainly didn't skimp on the audacious growl that made it memorable. The Judge was colorful, loud, and proud, solidifying the GTO's reputation in muscle car history. Number 7. The '69 Mercury Cougar XR7. A classy performer in the late 60s, muscle cars were all about power and style, and the '69 Mercury Cougar XR7 was a standout. While some brands were busy launching flashy special editions, Mercury kept it sleek and sophisticated with the Cougar Eliminator. This wasn't your average muscle car, it had an overall redesign that turned heads. Gone was the old grille, replaced by a clean look featuring hidden headlights and a sporty downward spear along the sides. The Cougar grew a bit larger, making it more aggressive and ready to rumble. Under the hood, you had options, starting with the 351 cubic inch V8, delivering a solid 250 horsepower. But if you really wanted to turn things up, the Cougar's optimal 4-barrel carburetor and dual exhaust bumped that to a satisfying 290 horsepower. When you hit the gas, that V8 sang a deep, throaty growl that echoed down the street. The Eliminator model was a real treat, packing a 428 Cobra Jet V8 with an optional Super Cobra Jet Ram Air intake, pushing power up to a staggering 400 horses. The sound of that engine? Pure thunder. It wasn't just about speed, it was about making a statement every time you fired it up. Number 6. The '69 AMC Rebel Machine. Next up is the '69 AMC Rebel Machine, a car that might not have mainstream fame, but definitely deserves some love. This midsize muscle car came out swinging with its unique, eye-catching red, white, and blue trim, making it stand out from the crowd. While it shared its underpinnings with the Rambler line, the Rebel was designed to be a performance machine. The Rebel Machine brought the fun and flair back into the game. The Rebel offered impressive power with its V8 engine, which was a 390 cubic inch beast that churned out around 340 horsepower. When you cranked it up, the sound was nothing short of exhilarating. It had a bold, muscular roar that could turn heads at any stoplight. Plus, it was practical, boasting a roomy interior and plenty of cargo space for those weekend getaways. Despite being marketed as a family car, it proved it had plenty of muscle under the hood. Number 5. The '69 Dodge Polara RT 440. The '69 Dodge Polara RT is one impressive ride. Launched in the early '60s, the Polara was Dodge's top full-size car, known for its bold design and powerful engines. In '69, it sported a sleek, streamlined look called fuselage design, giving it a modern and aggressive stance on the road. It even came with front seat head restraints, meaning new safety standards that made cruising a bit safer. The Polara 500 made its return that year, sitting right between the base model and the luxurious Monaco. Buyers had the option of a convertible or hardtop coupe, and under the hood, there was no shortage of power. While the base model came with a 225 cubic inch slant 6, the real stars were the optional V8 engines, the 318, 383, and the beastly 440 cubic inch V8. The Polara RT was built for performance, and the sound of that 440 was nothing short of thunderous. When you fired it up, it roared to life, filling the air with a deep rumble that announced your presence. Now, let's talk numbers. The Polara made waves on the Chrysler test track, holding the record for the fastest top speed for a factory four-door sedan at an incredible 149 miles per hour until 1994. That's the kind of power you can feel in your chest. Number 4. The 69 Chrysler Newport Custom V8. Now, if the Polara was about power, the 69 Chrysler Newport Custom V8 was all about a smooth ride wrapped in luxury. The Newport had a long history, but in '69, it got a complete makeover with the same eye-catching fuselage styling that defined Chrysler's full-size cars. This redesign made it longer, lower, and wider than its predecessors, while keeping the spacious 124-inch wheelbase. Chrysler offered the Newport in various styles, including a hardtop coupe, sedan, and even a convertible. It was designed to be a comfortable ride without breaking the bank, appealing to families looking for style and space. Under the hood, the Newport packed a powerful V8, making it a contender for both leisurely drives and highway cruising. The sound of that Newport's V8 was like a gentle symphony, a far cry from the growls of the Polara. It had a deep, rich tone that promised comfort on long drives, providing that classic muscle car feel without the raw aggression. When you hit the road, you could enjoy that smooth, powerful sound while still feeling the luxury inside. Number 3. The 69 Pontiac Tempest V8. This beauty was a part of Pontiac's lineup from 1960 to 1970, bringing a unique flavor to the streets. The Tempest stood out not just for its look, but for its innovative design. Built on GM's Y platform, it featured a front-engine, rear transaxle layout, which gave it a near-perfect weight balance. Imagine cruising around in a car that handles like a dream. Thanks to its independent rear suspension, it felt light and agile on the road. Under the hood, the Tempest had some options that made it fun to drive. The Trophy 4 engine was a clever twist on the Pontiac standard V8, created by splitting a V8 block in half. Talk about innovation. And for those who craved more power, the 69 model brought in a new 3-speed turbo hydromatic transmission in the 350 HO V8, now pushing out 325 horsepower. But the real thrill came from the sound. When you started that V8, it unleashed a deep, throaty roar that echoed down the streets, letting everyone know you meant business. The 69 Pontiac Tempest also had a special treat for muscle car fans with the introduction of the Judge. This version was all about raw power and performance, boasting special decals and an aggressive rear spoiler. While it was meant to compete with the Plymouth's Roadrunner, it found its place as a GTO variant, adding to the Tempest's muscle car legacy. Number 2. The 69 Chevy Bel Air V8. Now, let's shift gears to the 69 Chevy Bel Air, a classic that has been part of the Chevy family since the 50s. For 1969, the Bel Air received a fresh redesign, sporting a longer body and sleeker lines, while maintaining the familiar 119-inch wheelbase. It was a car that commanded attention, and it had the power to match. Engine options for the Bel Air included a standard 250 cubic inch 6-cylinder and a range of V8s that made your heart race. You could choose from 327s, 350s, and even some mighty 427s, cranking out up to 425 horsepower. With that kind of power, you can bet it had a sound that turned heads. The rumble from the V8 engines was a sweet symphony of American muscle, blending power and style in a way that only Chevy could deliver. By '69, this was the last year for the Bel Air two-door sedan, but it left a lasting impression. As the model evolved, it continued to capture the hearts of car enthusiasts with its powerful engines and iconic design. Number 1. The '69 Yenko Chevrolet Camaro SYC. Now, this was a car made for speed and attitude, thanks to Don Yenko, a race car driver turned Chevy dealer who specialized in making Chevy cars faster than they had any right to be. The Yenko Camaro came with a massive 427 cubic inch V8, packing 425 horsepower and a mind-bending 460 pound-per-foot of torque. To put it simply, this car could fly. The engine in the Yenko Camaro had a deep, thunderous rumble that you felt in your bones. On the drag strip, this car hit 108.2 miles per hour and could do the quarter mile in 12.59 seconds. A stunning time for a street car. The rumble of that big block V8 was something special, and with every downshift, the sound intensified, letting everyone around know this Camaro meant business. Only about 201 of these beasts were ever made, so if you ever hear one, consider yourself lucky. It's a rare kind of thunder. Now, which car do you think truly stole the show? Was it the deep rumble of the Dodge Charger? Or maybe the fierce growl of the Ford Mustang? Comment down below your favorite pick and let us know which sound you think defines the spirit of 1969 muscle cars. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.